Yes, it is. Okay, welcome everyone to our webinar, How to Prepare for Your Positive, Calm, hopefully, I would say reduced pain. I'm not going to promise totally pain-free birth, but I know you're very curious and someone else is coming. And thanks so much for coming. I'm all excited. And I really have to say we're going to have a great time because I'm going to share some real brain insights. I'm going to do some real exercises with you so that you can have a taste. Hi, Mandy, and you are here twice. Can I say that? Yeah, got kicked out. And so I really look forward to have a wonderful evening with you. So thanks already. The fact that you are here tonight shows me that you have a real interest in putting an extra thought, an extra step, something extra towards your pregnancy, how your birth is going to be, well, and understanding also how all those pieces are connected. Now, there's an old saying, and this saying says, knowledge is power, but know-how is empowerment. And this is really something we're going to talk about. So I want to introduce myself just very quickly, and I'm going to give you then some stories from my life. Hi, my name is Jutta. I once said good news, bad news. Pizza and parcels should be delivered, but babies should be really born. And I've been, in fact, a midwife for 39 years. Hands up, who's younger than 39? Come on, show me. And the rest is over 39? I can't believe it. Some of you are probably just 39, and maybe one is a little more than 39, yeah? But now you can imagine that I spent your lifetime or more than this in my favorite topic. Now I'm a very curious person, and because of that, I learned many things. I became a professional hypnotherapist, UK trained in 2005 in England. I became an NLP trainer, and I really always wanted to know what can I do to help women like you, everyone that I've met in those 39 years, and those 3,000 babies that were born into my hands. How can I help you to make birth, pregnancy, everything connected a better experience? And so this is why we are here tonight. I've published a book, and I've just been a co-author for 2 other books. I've shared my knowledge on many international conferences from Montreal to India, to the UK, Norway, Germany, all kinds of places. And I've been already often a podcast partner and on German television. But why am I here today? And why are you here? Because we want to go on a little journey to discover what can you do to prepare yourself in a very specific way to help you have a really positive, wonderful pregnancy, birth, and the time after. Mandy and Kim, if you could open your camera, that'd be really awesome, because it will make a difference. Only people that have their camera or yes open can ask me a question. Hello, Kim. Hello, Mandy. Yeah. And so tonight I want to speak about a few steps that everyone should know of, how to prepare, yes, and what's the difference to the difference. Now, I see, should have given us 5 more minutes. Okay, so when we think about giving birth, let me ask you, and I want you to put something into the chat. And then I will share with you what the picture is and what most women have on their mind. When we talk about childbirth nowadays, childbirth itself has not changed in the past thousands and 10,000s of years. Birth is as it always has been. But what has changed is what we think about it, what the culture is about it, and what people around us believe birth should be like. Now, I can tell you for sure, in those 39 years, with those 3,000 births, I've attended births in all circumstances. I can really, truly say that. Home birth, birth center, water births, big hospital, 5,000 births, big neonatal unit, small hospital on the countryside. So I have a really good insight on how birth really works. But what I've noticed is there's a new word in the dictionary, and it's called tocophobia, the fear of giving birth. So can I ask you, and I will ask you to close your eyes for a moment and think, what kind of picture do you have in your mind when you think about giving birth? And let it just sink in for a moment. Which picture appears in your mind? And then open your eyes. Let me give you a guess. I'll just guess. At 99.9% I'm right. You see a woman, mouth wide open, pulling her knees up and going, ah! like this, yeah? In my book, I called it Birth, a Modern Hollywood Drama. Sorry, I have to drink. And hardly ever we see another picture. So I have to say, thanks to Hollywood, we have a Hollywood picture in our mind, yeah? Hollywood, Bollywood, doesn't matter. This is the most common picture that people will say, yeah, Jutta, that's right. I've seen this picture in my mind. Now, obviously, I see other pictures in my mind. So how can we go from this picture to another picture? And how can we change our mind? Because in the dictionary, a new word has appeared. What's the word? Tocophobia, the fear of giving birth. Yeah. Never ever before in history, I think, we had so much fear around the most natural process and so many thoughts. And by the way, we are the only mammal that can really do things like this, decide, oh yeah, I'm fearful about giving birth and all of that. So have a little think for a moment and then think, what is your biggest worry when you are thinking about giving birth? What is your biggest worry? Have a thought. Is it 1 or 2 or 3? Yeah. And let me then name a few random ones. One is something could happen. When I then ask, what do you mean something could happen? Well, something could go wrong randomly. Yeah. Then sometimes we have a fear of we can't do it, right? Anyone has this fear? I can't do it. Some has this fear, the fear of pain. Oh, I can't go through the pain. All of that goes in through our mind. But we have no evidence that all of that is true. Yes or no? Yes or no? It's a question. Yes, maybe Jutta, I have this evidence because I had a horrible birth, maybe. Yes, you raised your hand. What was that? Yes. Oh no, don't ask me. Please feel free to say something, but you can also say it afterwards if you like. Here's the evidence. Yes. Okay, in times where we look at a C-section rate of 30 to 80% in the world, that is a fact. Unfortunately, according to WHO, it should only be 11 to 15, not 30 to 80%. I have to ask myself as a professional person, what the heck is going on here? Yeah. Do women not know how to give birth anymore? Have bodies completely forgotten the second oldest process of the world? I don't think so, because I've seen all of it. And I've seen how birth can unfold right in front of your eyes and work like that. The question was always to me, what's the difference to the difference? What makes the difference? And so I went on this journey learning everything that you can imagine about the body, about the mind, the body, and the body and mind connection. And what does it do for you? So as I said, knowledge is power, know-how is empowerment. That is one of the first steps. And that's where we're going to go to tonight. But then there's a few more things. First of all, even if you're not fearful, even if you say, hey, Jutta, I'm really confident about me and my body giving birth, or you say, maybe I had a very bad birth of the first time, then I would say, well, one birth is just one birth. And there's always many things that will come together on the day that will either take it this way or that way. So let's talk a little bit about the brain. Because when we speak about the secret sauce ingredients that you need for a good birth, I can tell you already it's a few things. First of all, you have to understand how it works. And you have to understand how your brain works. Because where does birth really start? Now, most women will say, of course, in my uterus. But that's not true. Everything starts right here in the brain, because the brain is the master of everything and orchestrates everything. Whether you can lift your arm or not, yeah, whether you this or that. And by the way, 60,000 thoughts wander through your brain every day. Now, please don't ask me how they figured that out, but I Googled it because I was not sure. Is it 6,000 or 60,000? But it's 60,000 thoughts. Many of those thoughts, of course, are random. Oh yeah, like need some toilet paper. Shall I have a coffee or tea? But the other part of the 60,000 thoughts they figured out is that at least half of those are negative thoughts. Now, the brain is a funny thing, and most people will say, well, Jutta, how can I influence my brain? Can I master my brain? The answer is absolutely yes. You can go even from being a pessimist to becoming an optimist, and you can train your brain like a muscle. And there is a few steps that you can do, and I will share some of those already tonight for you. Because when we think about the brain is the place where everything happens. Birth is located in a very primal part of our brain, in the part where we have survival, where we have sexuality, where we have giving birth. It's called the limbic system. It's a very old part of the brain. And in this part of the brain, we also have a protector, which is called the fight and flight reflex. And the fight and flight reflex plays a very important role in our life, and especially on the day of the birth. Now, right now, in times like this, I have to say, I'm sorry. First, it was Corona. Now it's Ukraine. People get more and more stressed, not only about, I'm pregnant and what is going on, plus what is in the world around me happening. And so the stress level is actually rising. And stress up to a certain degree is good, but stress when it takes over is going to be counterproductive for the happiness in your pregnancy and the happiness in your birth and how your birth goes. Why is that? Let me take you on a little journey into your brain, because I want to explain the brain, because the brain is the hand on the, how can we say, on the clock or on the scales when it comes to birthing. There is something in your brain that can stop your birth completely. And if you don't know how it works, and if you have no tools, methods, or strategies how to switch something off, then you know it could be a reason why suddenly your birth is not working. Now, the uterus, as you might know already or not know, is an amazing muscle. It's the home of your little baby, and it's the only muscle in your body that can allow you to give birth. Inside our brain, in the limbic system, is, I said to you, a protector. So anytime when your brain thinks something, for instance, picture me thousands of years ago, and I'm in a cave, sitting in a cave giving birth. I do this. For some reason, I have a funny feeling. I open my eyes, I see a big T-Rex going. That moment, my brain only has three options. Either it says freeze because I'm so overwhelmed by my fear and I can't move anymore, my body, nothing, not even my mind. The second thought is I'm going to take a tool, I'm going to fight it, maybe I'll kill it. But most likely the most common thing that is going to happen is my fight and flight reflex is going to be triggered. And then my brain shouts, run, Jutta, run, run, run for your life. Now, when my brain says, run, Jutta, run, run, run for your life, of course, we're not going to give birth anymore, will we? No, because the body is smart. Everything will go into my legs, my hands, my eyes, my heart's going to pump, bum, 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 yeah, like a little horse, because now my body is going to produce a hormone that's going to help me to win the Olympic Games, and that is adrenaline. Adrenaline is an amazing kickstarter, but when the body goes into the fight-flight reflex, the body doesn't want to give birth anymore. No, it says, close the shop for a moment, let's run for our life, and only once we are in a safe place, yay, and we can relax, then we're going to give birth again. Now, the fight and flight reflex can be triggered by many different things. Could be someone is not friendly to you, could be your own inner fear and stress, could be someone says something, or maybe just simple a door banging in a strange place like, you know, a hospital room that you never have been at. So there are certain things that you can eliminate. And one of them, of course, is understand when it's triggered and methods and ways how you can get out of it. Now, trust me, giving birth is an amazing process. It's a very unique process. And it should be a process that you remember happily. Why? Well, I've just been to my sister's 60th birthday. She is my best and my sweetest and my beloved sister. By the way, the only sister I have. People were laughing when I said, she is my favorite sister. I said, well, she could also be my not favorite sister. But we're only 1 year apart, and we have celebrated many birthdays together, and we even do remember that. Birthdays are days you'll never forget. You forget birthdays. You forget to write a card. But the day you have given birth is a day. Never, ever this day will be forgotten. It will be remembered until you are, like my mother, 86. Well, then she passed. but she would give me my birthday story on each and every birthday. So, you know, wouldn't it be great if that day would be a day, wow, that you look back on and you say, yay, oh yeah, it was a bit of work, or it was like a baby just slipping out, but certainly a day you remember. There will be always something you remember. Most likely not very much the time when your baby was born, but many other things. How people were, how your partner helped you along, how you felt, all the things you did. You know, maybe it was snowing, raining, or the sun was shining. There's so many little things you will remember. Yeah. And so it should be a day whenever you walk on memory lane, you should be walking back, looking at this day and saying, yay, it was an amazing day. It was the day where I met my baby. Now, how are we getting there? Nowadays, I can say there is a big lack of many things. And that's not something personal, but in general, I feel there is very little confidence about your body's ability. There is very little resilience. And on the way, motivation then gets lost because we feel like, oh God, I don't even know what I'm doing and if it's working. And so for this reason, there's a few very simple things that will help you to come along. And one of it is, of course, something about your confidence. Tools to bring your confidence into a bigger power is, of course, for instance, your inner talk. Most people, when they would turn the volume up and allow us to listen to themselves, we'd be in shock, I'm honest. The way most people, whether it's men or women, makes no difference, talk to themselves inside is usually rather nagging. If you would speak to your best friend like this, it wouldn't be really helpful. So the first thing one should do is turn and change the dialogue or the monologue, whatever you want to call it, that you have with yourself. For a moment, close your eyes. Have a little think. Close your eyes for a moment, think. Today, just go today. Think, how many times today did you tell yourself that, you know, Carol, Mandy, Alexandra, Katja, Tiz, Beate, whoever you are, how many times today have you told yourself that something you did was really great? Hey, and that you did well. And if you feel like, haven't really done this today, then I suggest you think about something you did well today and you put it into your mind. And doing well could be, hey, I went to join Jutta's webinar. Okay, open your eyes. So that's something you should remember, because your brain will go like a little black dog always along the pathways that you take it. Now, as I mentioned before, 60,000 thoughts, so many. Of course, the one should I have coffee or tea? There will stay. But if you start coloring and changing the sound, the voice, the color of your thoughts, it takes a different journey. And that's something you can do. So here is my tip number one. Every day in the morning, you should write down something you're grateful for, because gratefulness brought big results. Then you should also write down a few things of what would you like, what is your intention for tomorrow? Yeah, and it should be a positive intention. And at least one thing where you say, yay, I did something well. Why am I telling you this? Dopamine is a hormone that will be produced whenever you say, hey, I did something well, or someone else is telling you. And that's something you need on the day of the birth. It's one of the positive hormones for your birth. So can you train your brain? Absolutely. I'm a big fan of positive psychology. I don't know if you have ever heard of a man called Martin Seligman. He is the man who invented positive psychology. And he once said, you can go from being a pessimist into becoming an optimist. Now, I'm sure you know I want to speak about hypnobirthing. That's why we're here, because I'm a big fan of hypnosis and everything that works with the mind. So sometimes when we think, when our thoughts go into fear or into stress, it doesn't do us any good, right? Have you ever had a moment in time where you were totally under stress and you could really take a good decision? The answer is usually no. Because what do we say? In case of crisis or in case of mega stress, we need someone to put the leader hat on and to say, right, I'm here, everyone should follow, right? If you ever had a situation like this, you know what I mean. Now, for the birth, you want to be sure you create certain things for yourself. One thing is to help your brain and yourself, of course, is the power of something very simple, the power of breath. Think, how does someone breathe that is very nervous and anxious? What do you think? Like this. When you come along, you certainly won't say, breathe a little faster, will you? No, you will say, take in a nice deep breath, inhale, exhale, and tell me what's going on. So learning how to breathe is really important, because breath is one way how you can de-stress yourself and master yourself and turn the volume down. Breath has many abilities. It can also energize you, it can calm you, and it can help you to relax the body. But breathing is not going to come just like this, because most people, or most women, except if they practice yoga, meditation, kung fu, qigong, something like this, usually have very little ability to breathe themselves into a relaxed state of mind. So when you start working with the birth, and when you start working with hypnosis and relaxation, you always will use the power of the breath. And the good thing is, breath is something you always have with you. Now, breath will help you to focus, and breath will allow you to sort of go a little deeper. But is that enough for the birth? In my opinion, probably not quite. And I want to invite you for an exercise, because I'm a practical person. But you know, I like to understand how birth works, but I also like to work the mind. What the mind can achieve, the body will follow and achieve it as well. Every thought we have will follow a physical reaction. Think a moment in time where you felt stressed, you could feel it. But when you feel happy, you can also feel it, right? Yeah. When you get angry, you can feel it. When you're tired, you feel it. When you're happy, you feel it. Everything you do, every thought you have has a physical reaction. And so usually we make use out of that in hypnosis. And we use it already with things like the power of our language, but also with an exercise. But I want to give you an exercise to show you how much your mind can work alone. Okay? And I hope you come along for a little experiment. Because some things you cannot understand or feel if you haven't done them. Okay? So place your hands out in front of your body, close your eyes, and turn the palms up for a moment. Yeah, and just feel free to come along. And then next, for a moment, focus on a feeling, just something small for today, okay? Something that is bothering you. And it could be anything, you know, could be tiredness, could be fear, could be anger, could be anxiety, yeah, something like that. And as you notice it, ask if there's anything, and I really mean anything, the feeling would wish to say to you, if it could speak. And if there is something, you should make a note of it. Yeah. But if there's nothing, if there's not, it's also absolutely fine. Just for a moment, focus on the feeling and ask if there's something it wants to tell you. And then for a moment, imagine that you're holding the feeling in your left hand, right in front of you. And I would like to invite you to get in touch with it. Exactly. Just put the hand up, get in touch with the feeling, and just really for a moment allow yourself to get in touch with it. And in our next step, I like to invite you to think right the opposite of that feeling. For example, you could think happiness, peace, calm, and comfort. And now I would like to invite you to bring that opposite feeling to your mind. Peace, calm, comfort. And I like you to notice how this one feels. That's it. Now take in a nice deep breath. Eyes remain closed if you like. And now imagine placing that opposite feeling in your right hand, right in front of you. One is in the left hand and the other one is in the right hand. Now I'd like to invite you to move your attention up to a few inches above your head and keeping your attention in that position, just above your head, and to be able to experience both feelings at the same time. Now continue to feel the two emotions simultaneously with your attention just right above your head. As you do that, your emotional system will kind of recalibrate so that you can experience the difficult emotion at a lower level and a reintegration into your, what we call, or I call, your emotional intelligence. That's it. And once you're ready and you put enough attention to the middle, you can relax the hands and let it go and enjoy the change in feeling. Good? Vasily? Yeah, should feel good.
Ich denke auch.
Oh, that was Siri. She said, I think so too. I don't know why she did that. You know, modern technology is so funny. Okay. So did you like that exercise? Yeah. Did you feel something? Yeah. So this was a little bite, a taste of things that we do when we work with hypnosis, for instance, in hypnobirthing. Now tonight, I really mainly focus on the mind because even if you're well prepared physically, if you don't believe that you can give birth, if you don't trust your own body, your baby, and the process, it's going to be very hard to convince yourself that this is going to happen. And I know most of us in our culture, depending on where we come from, might not have a culture where giving birth is a joyful event. But let me just say, last week someone rang me and she said, first baby, 5-hour birth. And she said it was absolutely amazing. Yeah. Once I have to say, I have a friend in Australia. You know, I lived in Australia for many years. My friend is 40 years old. When she fell pregnant, you know what people said to her? Oh, you're 40. I think you're going to have a C-section. You should have one. You're old. I said to my friend, close your ears. Don't listen. Don't listen to people that actually have no idea. Yeah. So my friend was one of the first people that I prepared when I just had moved to Australia with hypnosis. Her partner is an artist, I would say, off with the fairies, a very lovely guy. But he always said to me, I'm scared. I don't know if I can really help. I said, of course you can. You are the man, you know, you are the partner. You are the love of her life. For sure you can. Anyway, here's the story of her birth. My friend decided to give birth in a birth center. And in Australia, I lived in Sydney. It's divided by postal codes. So my friend could not come to the birth center where I was working. But I said, look, if I'm not working, I certainly will come and attend your birth. So on a Sunday afternoon, my friend rang me. She's also an artist. So she was selling on the market. She was already 40 weeks pregnant. She rang me. She said, I have a leakage. I think I released my amniotic fluid. I said, yeah, that's fine. And I think birth is going to start today, tomorrow, we'll see. Get in touch with the birth center. So she did that, and they said, if you have no contractions, everything's fine, baby's moving, you can just stay at home or wherever you are, and you get in touch with us in a few hours. So she did. She rang me and she said, I have a little bit of niggling, nothing major, but you know, I can feel something is happening. Okay, I said, great, I'm almost done with my shift. I'm going to take my car, go home, change my clothes, and I come over to the other side of Sydney. Now, let me say, the Pope came to visit Sydney exactly that day. So there was a big crowd of people, yeah, on my way to the birth center. I really do remember it. So I went home, had a sandwich, put my clothes on, because my friend only had niggling, not even something where she said, I'm breathing. So when I drove, okay, it took me an hour longer than usual because there was this big traffic jam because of the Pope. When I came to the birth center, I said to my colleague there, hey, my name's Jutta, I'm a midwife from the other birth center. My friend is giving birth here. Probably she is walking around or sitting in the bathtub. My colleague was laughing, ha, ha, ha. And I thought, what do you mean, ha, ha, ha? And she just pointed to the door and she said, just go in. My friend at the age of 40 was sitting in the bathtub, holding her little baby. Her partner was saying, yay, we did it together. It was fantastic. And my friend had given birth in about just 3 hours, first baby, everything beautiful and fine. So, you know, you can go from thinking I need a C-section to, yes, I can give birth. And so certain things will help you. And one thing is good breathing, positive mindset that you need to probably work on. Most people have to. And then also ways how you can create an inner space. I'll call it a safe place, a place of well-being that you can put yourself right into no matter what is happening around you. Now, when we work with hypnosis, it's more than just saying everything's going to be all right. Hypnosis is a way to shift your inner, how can we say, decoration of your inner walls. A very famous hypnotist once said, imagine someone would come to your bed, to your living room, and would put a horrible painting up on the wall. Of course, you would not leave it, would you? No, you would redecorate the inner walls of your living room. It's exactly the same what we do on our, how can I say, birthing room in our head. All the pictures, all the things that you have in your mind. Now, let me ask you a question. How many weeks pregnant are you? Can you put it in the chat? And can you also tell me if this is your first or second or fifth baby? Yeah, let me have a look. I'm very curious to see who you are and what's going on. Oh, Alexandra. Wow. That's fantastic. Oh, twins, third baby, first baby. Oh, and second baby, Kim. That is fantastic. I think I know who Kim is. 27 weeks, first baby girl. Beautiful. Well, congratulations, all of you, whether you're 14 weeks or whether you're 34 weeks. That is fantastic. Oh, no, Kim, I don't know you. No, because you would be 37 weeks then. Sorry, I thought you were one of my friends. Fantastic. Good. Now, let me ask you something else. Who of you has ever had an experience with hypnosis? Me, of course. Oh, Katja, that's great. And nobody else had? No? Well, but you know, every day you put yourself into a self-hypnosis. You do things like you tell yourself, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm short, I'm likable or not. Oh, I think I don't know how to do mathematics. That is some type of self-hypnosis. Unfortunately, I'm honest, most people go into a negative self-hypnosis. Hardly anyone ever runs up to the mirror and says, yeah, here I am, I'm back, yeah, good. Hey, Jutta, how are you? You might think I'm crazy, but I tell you one thing, if you don't even like yourself, if you don't even give yourself a compliment, who else is going to do it then? So, you know, being a bit more cheerful, joyful is really important. And with little strategies, you can get to the goal. But of course, there is much, much more to that. So I want to speak a bit about hypnobirthing, because I know I gave you a bit of this, I gave you a bit of that. In hypnobirthing, the focus is really on the mindset. Now, I told you beforehand, I became a hypnotherapist already in 2005. I had a beautiful teacher, 86 years old, a lovely man in the UK. I traveled all the way to the north of the UK. And why did I do it? Because already a long time ago, I was curious. I thought hypnosis was something, with a pendulum, and maybe someone says sleep. But I was curious, and I suffered from bad migraines since young age, and I wanted to let go of them. So I went to see a hypnotherapist. He wasn't really specialized on migraines, but I still did it. And up until today, I can't even tell you what the man did, but I know that I closed my eyes and I was lying there and I was thinking, he counted me down. And then I thought, why is he not saying anything? And then he suddenly said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, open your eyes. I was a bit like, excuse me, have I just been lying on your couch to listen to your counting? But no, 1 hour had passed. But what was far more interesting is that in the next few weeks, I felt so good physically, mentally, and I had no migraines. But as I said, his specialty was not migraines. Already that convinced me, aha, there must be something in it. And so, years later, I admitted very publicly, I used to be a heavy smoker. Now, you might think that's a bit strange with my profession, but think, I was born in the 60s. In the 70s, everyone was smoking. Whether it was, a detective, Falco somewhere on television, whether it was a rock star, everyone who was cool and everyone was cool was for sure smoking. And so I got hooked on some crazy bullshit, and it was not so easy to let it go. So I was a heavy smoker from the age of 13 up until 40. But when I turned 40, I thought, that's it, Jutta. Free yourself. Yeah, free people do not need to smoke. And so I found a wonderful hypnotherapist or hypnotist in Wellington, New Zealand, where I lived at the time. Already after one session, I threw all my cigarettes, whatever I had, matches, lighters, into a bin, and that was it. And I can say happily, 20 years later, never looked back. It took that one session to really kickstart me being a non-smoker, even after I'd been a smoker for such a long time, just to show to you the power of your mind. And the power that I have in my mind, everyone has in their mind. Yeah, it's not a special power. It's just how to unlock that power. Of course, I took a couple more sessions just to be sure. Yeah, it's really working, and to reinforce it. And that's a bit like, how can I say, when you have a tension in your body and you do some yoga and you go for a massage and you can feel it's getting better, you're not going to stop doing those exercises, are you? And you might even go back to the massage therapist and say, just a little bit is left, okay? Can you just rub again to really make sure it's settled? And that's it. Yeah, so hypnobirthing. What are we doing in hypnobirthing, and why is it so good? It's a great addition to, I would say, the knowledge you gain when you take a childbirth class. But the mindset is very different. Why is that? Because one part is to learn how to breathe yourself into a relaxed state of mind. Now, I'm honest, it's not something you learn with just once doing it. It's something you have to do and do and do. Why? The brain likes repetition. Yeah, like a small child. Yeah, when you show how to do the shoelaces, hardly ever a child can do it at once, but you do it over and over and over again. And that's when that's what you call creating an automatism. When you walk into your kitchen in the morning, you don't have to think, how am I going to make my coffee or my cup of tea? If you teach a small kid how to make coffee or tea, it will take some time until it all runs so that your hands are doing the job. That's one thing. You want to have a breathing ability that runs like this. Then secondly, you want to learn how to visualize, to create pictures in your mind. You should become the director of the movies in your head. The brain makes no difference between this reality here and that reality here. Why? Think about someone that has a phobia. You know someone with a phobia? Spiders, snakes, flies, dogs. Hands up. I know lots of people with that. Yeah. And I have a friend who has a phobia of snakes. Even when there's a snake just on television that certainly can't jump out of the screen, she goes, ah, and she runs away and she gets the chills and she freaks out. So these things are only in our head. And see, they are only in our head. And logically we know it, but we still can't control it. So it's the same when we think about fear, stress, and worry. So it's great to learn how can you shrink them, put them away, so they don't come into your head. So one thing is to visualize. The other thing is really how to let go of unwanted doubts, worries, and fears. Why? Whenever you have a fear, an anxiety, or maybe even a bad experience, from another birth, or where maybe your sister had a bad experience, something, it's the negative stories that stick. There is certainly no doubt about that. But it doesn't mean stories have to get repeated over and over again. But I don't know if you've ever watched a horror movie. I stay away from that because I can't sleep for many days. But sometimes you walk into a room and suddenly this kind of music comes back into your head, the feeling, the picture, and you suddenly think, oh, I really don't feel comfortable. So you really want to be able to turn pictures like this out of your mind. Now, let's do an experiment. I just want to show you what happens in your brain. If I say to you, don't think about blue elephants with pink dots. Yeah, I know exactly what happened. I told you, don't think about blue elephants with pink dots. And I know each of you saw at least one pink elephant or blue elephant with pink dots. So, everything around us has an influence what's happening inside here. So we need to learn some good tools to change those pictures. And it's not logical thinking. It's an inner process that has to change. Whether it's an old trauma, a fear, an anxiety, all of that needs to change. Another thing that is important is how can you recreate and anchor good feelings? Now, think for a moment. Close your eyes. Go to a beautiful moment in your life, a happy moment. Could be anything from your childhood, could be from last week. There's always a day or a moment in time where we remember, hey, that was a beautiful, happy moment. I will go to my sister's 60th birthday just on Saturday. Hear the voices, see the people, all of that. Okay, and then open your eyes. Now there's ways how we can recreate and think back on positive moments in life and anchor them. And the same thing, what we can anchor is positive feelings, relaxation, anything. Think now, close your eyes again. Think about a relaxed moment in your life. Now, relaxed could be walking through nature, sitting on a bicycle, cycling somewhere beautiful, lying in a bathtub. Inhale, open your lips and deeply exhale. And one more time, inhale, hold your breath, think about that beautiful moment. Open your lips and in your mind say, relax, relax, relax. That's it. Cool. And then open your eyes. So there's ways how to really anchor those feelings physically so that at any time when you touch a certain part of your body, it will release those moments again. Oh, that's good. It was relaxing. Yeah, you thought about relaxation. What else is hypnosis in the use of childbirth? It's not a promise that you're going to have a natural birth. It's not a promise that you will have a 2-hour birth. But what it can give you is the ability to feel more relaxed, more positive, less stressed, more happy, more resilient. And also it will give you an ability of focusing on what you want and how you want it. Because the worst part is always when we lose our focus. It's a bit as if we lose our way. One of my clients last year, she had a 12-hour birth. Yeah, she was very stressed, so to speak. She had a lot of problems with her business because of Corona. And of course, that had a big impact. But she said to me, I used everything, self-hypnosis you taught me, breathing techniques, taking my mind into a positive place, relaxation techniques, pain minimizing techniques. And I used it until the very end. And she said, I truly believe it was the only reason why I was able to give birth. So it's a big mix of different things. So let me ask you, if you don't mind, if you want, I invite you to put into the chat, what is your biggest fear when you think about giving birth? What is the biggest fear you have? You can put it in the chat, you don't have to, but it would be great because I will say something about it. I told you already what most women say is pain, for instance. You can put one, language barrier, as I understand. Something happens to the baby, pain, yes. I get it. More long birth, yeah. Okay, I see. So yeah, what you put in is what most women will put in. Okay, well, pain is one thing. Baby gets stuck, well, we can do something about that. A long birth, we can also do something about that. The question is, what is a long birth? And it takes so many hours, overwhelmed by pain. Okay, here is what I want to say about it. I know that pain is a big factor, but when you understand how pain works, then you also know that you can make pain your friend and you can embrace it. The good thing is during birth, you're not going to have pain for 10 hours in one long go. It's a coming and going. I personally don't like to use the word pain. I like the word discomfort much better. And when you know how to deal with it, it can change. Plus, none of you has to give birth inside the dark, deep forest all by yourself. When you use hypnosis, you can learn old hypnotic techniques, how to transfer anesthesia with your hand to certain body parts. Now, I'm honest, that's something you have to practice. There's only a very small group of people, I say people because men and women practice that can do that straight away. It's possible, but with practice, you can. There is even a group of anesthetists in Belgium, in the UK, that will perform surgery in hypnosis while the person is kind of awake. And if you have ever heard of dental hypnosis, it's not a joke, it really works. It's something where you take the mind into a different direction and where you reframe whatever is happening. And it really, really works. It's something that you can truly practice and that I usually practice with my group of participants when I do hypnobirthing. Now, can I say, why are you stressing yourself that much? You don't have to. When you perform hypnobirthing, it doesn't mean you have no permission to take some medication if needed. Because also, on the other hand, all people are different, okay? Some people are just more resilient to certain things, and others get more stressed. Oh, okay, not getting enough medical attention. Yes, I can see. Okay, Mandy, I will answer you that as well, yeah? First of all, the thing is, pain can be managed with hypnosis, with relaxation, with many things, yeah? Because pain in this case is not a sign that something is wrong. The normal labor pain is a sign that, hey, I'm in labor. Trust me, ladies, once you hit 41 weeks and 5 days, you want it to come. So, it's a question of how do you look at it. The feeling, for instance, that some of you have, oh God, imagine something goes wrong. Again, let me reassure you. First of all, you are pregnant. Pregnancy is not an open heart surgery or birth. It's a normal thing. And normally we can say healthy women will give birth to healthy babies. And there's a small percentage that will need extra help. And for those, we have already our Mutter pass, we have many things. Now, the worst thing that you can do is focus on, oh God, something will go wrong. Because if birth would be that dangerous, sorry, I don't think the planet would be that full. And plus, all of you will give birth in a system where it's midwives looking after you. So normally the rule is healthy women will have healthy babies. That truly is the rule. And I can say that after 39 years, 3,000 births and 10,000 of women I had in my care, okay? It's other things that often make the problem. But so, when you have diffuse anxieties like that, yeah, I think it's worth really working on it. A long birth, baby getting stuck. Yeah, Sometimes something maybe is happening, but then, having some good strategies. When there is a problem, what's the best strategy from your side? If there's a real problem, you won't fix it. But the best thing is that you stay as calm, as relaxed as you can. What is a long birth? Is a long birth maybe 10 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours? What is a long birth? Here's the guarantee. I swear to you, as the sun goes up and the sun goes down, babies will be born. And why? Well, because you should be willing to say, I'll give 24 hours of my time maximum, but most babies will be born much faster. And no one says you have to suffer for 24 hours. When you learn how to relax and to ride the waves and how to ride your contractions, it's going to be a very different game. By the way, length is not the story. You can have a 5-hour birth that is like a rocket going through, and maybe not the one you're looking for. And you can have an 18-hour birth and say, you know what, I enjoyed every minute of it. Time is a thing in your head. What's the last thing? Yeah, no, look, can I say finding the right birthplace is also something we can talk about. Yeah, finding the right birthplace, finding the right provider. That's a question of also communication. And I know most of you speak English, maybe one speaks German. But the thing is, let me say one thing for sure. First of all, nowadays, lots of people speak English. Secondly, you can learn how to communicate with people, even in a hospital. I call it, how can I make friends in a place where I didn't have any friends so far? Yeah, that is a question. How do you communicate your wishes? What kind of birth plan are you writing? How are you writing it? How do you hand it over? And how can you invite people to be helpful to you? For instance, when people think you are sympathetic, likable, they will always help you more than when they think you are a nuisance. Everyone knows that. When you are in a shop and you want to give something back, and the person thinks you're nice and friendly, or she will say, okay, let me see what I can do for you. If you run in and you shout at them, look, it ripped into pieces just after once in the washing machine. They say, oh yeah, right, just give it to us. Yeah. When people think you're friendly, nice, and sympathetic, they will help you. Now, no one says you have to bribe someone in the hospital, but there are certain ways how we can speak to people that will be just, how can I say, more friendly and invitable. And this is really how it works. Okay, so these are the different things you can cover. How can you minimize pain? Well, you can minimize pain through breath. You can minimize pain through certain touches and massages. You can minimize pain through hypnotic techniques. The more relaxed you are, the less the body is going to produce cortisol and tension. For instance, that's one thing. Your anxieties is you can learn how to change the movie, the pictures in your head. You can move them into different places, make them small, make them big. Anxiety is a thing in your head. And if you're able to produce an anxiety, then you can also let go of an anxiety. Yeah. Sometimes it will be a breathing technique, but sometimes it will be a different technique. Yeah, confidence is something you need to develop. Confidence is a seed that is inside you. But like in a garden, sometimes we forget to water it and look after it. Everyone was born with confidence. I know some might think, but I have little confidence. True, but it doesn't mean it's not there. And confidence means confidence in you, confidence in your body, confidence in your baby, confidence into your body's ability. And confidence can be brought up and can be strengthened. For instance, like this little tip I gave you, every day you write down something you're grateful for. Every day you write down something that you did well. Yeah, of course, there's more techniques, but in 1 hour, I can't share everything. But this little technique, if you do this every day, you will see it would change many things. And last not least, the things you read, the things you look at, the things you talk about, the things that people will tell you will also make a difference. Say, if you want to achieve something in life, you surround yourself with people that believe that you can do it or that have successfully done it. You don't surround yourself with people that say, oh, no, I don't think you can, you can't do it. I once took a hike up to Annapurna Base Camp. Okay, Annapurna Base Camp is not the biggest thing. But I had been very sick. And so when I decided to walk up to Annapurna base camp, I decided I will go as far as I can, but I give my best to get myself up there. So I was together with a French guy who said, of course you can walk up there. Yeah. I didn't go and speak to people that said, oh my God, look at you. You look so exhausted. You cannot make it up there. That's not what you want. When you want to achieve something, you really put yourself with the right people in the right seat. Okay. You only watch the movies and YouTube videos that show you the birth that you want to have. Yeah. Why would you look at something else? People will give you enough negative stories anyway. And when they come and give you negative stories, close your ears and say, no, 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 I'm not listening to it. So find someone that supports you. Find a way how you can really say, I can do it. Because as I said, let me again really reframe it for you. Birth is not a disease. It's not a sickness. But to be mentally well prepared, to know how to relax, brief yourself in a positive state of mind, let go of your unwanted worries and doubts. Yeah, learn how to minimize negative thoughts, learn how to create a positive mindset. These things will help you not only for your birth, but of course also for the rest of your life, because that's the true nature of that. Yeah. Okay. I will say something to all of you. Does it make sense what I said to you? Yeah. You understand the meaning of that for sure. Yeah. And I understand, Mandy, that you are fearful, wherever your fear comes from. I understand that maybe one of you had a bad experience, maybe in the past. But even if you had a bad experience, I always say, a bad experience is there to be overcome. One should not get stuck in it, because just something bad happened in life doesn't mean it's always going to happen like that. Some people believe they're very lucky people, right? You know someone like that? I know someone myself. I always tell people I'm really lucky. But maybe I was born lucky, maybe. Maybe I had a special star above my head when I was born, or maybe it's because I believe I'm lucky. And I look into life in different perspectives. I look at the things that I think that are great. I can find something good in everything. Just the last story before we come to the last part. In 2015, I was in Nepal. You see, I love Nepal. I love traveling. And I was caught in the biggest earthquake that Nepal ever had experienced. Yeah, I was right in the middle of it. In 90 seconds, I could have been dead. Anything could have happened. And I was just walking with my boyfriend. We were ready to go on a motorbike tour up to the north to Mustang. I was holding a chocolate croissant in my hand, and we wanted to go for coffee before we would head off into the mountains. And suddenly, the earth started shaking. And in the beginning, we had no idea what was going on. I spent 2 weeks in Nepal. Yeah, I helped as much as I could. But I saw a lot of horrible things, of course, because, Nepal is very, very poor. And when I came back from Nepal, I had a total meltdown. I was crying for some hours, and I felt really bad and all of that. Luckily, I was booked for my advanced NLP master, which I had booked the year before. The topic was trauma. And so, I was sitting in front of 30 people 2 weeks after the earthquake, crying my eyes out, feeling really bad, feeling like I should have done more, I should have helped more people, whatever, nothing that was logical. And I learned that just in a few sessions, I was able to let go of all this trauma, all these nightmares, the scenes that I saw repeatedly in front of my eyes. Because in the beginning, whenever I would speak about Nepal, I would break out into tears. I could not even speak in a normal voice about it. So already after a few days, I was able to speak about it, not to cry. And I can say, the best thing that came out of it is I learned so much about trauma. I learned that you can let it go. And because I was in Nepal, people gave me their money. I collected more than 5,000 euros, which helped a whole village in Nepal. So I always said, right time, right place, right event. And there was always something in it. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you this story to share with you that none of you has to suffer forever. Okay, it's 21. 1 hour has gone. Of course, I will make you an offer. First of all, you will all get a present. Yeah, so I will download the present because you were all here. And my present to you is a whole thing with affirmations that you can use from week 14 until week 44. So that's one thing, because I want to say thank you for listening. I will also give you an offer to my hypnobirthing that will start this month, but also next month. And I will also answer your questions in a moment. Yeah, so think what questions you have, and let me just get the link to both of those things. And I know some of you are already in my hypnobirthing, in my Happy Hypnobirthing Bootcamp, which I think is amazing. What's that? Oh, sorry, it just looked as if my session had expired. Just a second. P. And think about your questions, because I will, if you want, unmute you and then invite you to ask me questions. So where is it? Here it is. Sorry, I'm not so technical. Please forgive me. Okay, here's one link. Beep. So that is the link, and I will explain this to you in a moment. One link. So that's the link to the Happy Birthing Bootcamp that will start on the 3rd. Now I have to go back and give you your present. So no, we don't want that. We want that. Kopieren. So, okay, for all of you, here is your present. Okay, so I would like to show you the Happy Hypnobirthing Bootcamp that is coming up on the 3rd of May, which is a Tuesday, over 4 weeks. And if you like, I'm going to share my screen for a moment with you so I can show you, because that might be easier. So in Happy Hypnobirthing Bootcamp, I put the best of all the things that I've learned in 39 years and since 2005, since I work with hypnosis. So for instance, last year, Emma from America took part, and she was one of the ladies that was able to have a really good birth, despite the fact that she lives in America, and that, you know, in America, the C-section rate is crazy high. She used all the techniques that I taught online live, as I will again this time. And she and her partner used all of it, so that even a doctor that was a doctor in this hospital for 15 years and had never seen a natural birth was able to attend an unmedicated birth, and was completely, you know, how can I say, yeah, surprised that that was really possible. And when you go to the page, you will see this is her testimonial. So, you know, as I usually say, when you go to the Olympic Games, you're not going to wait until the last day to practice. You're going to start early. So what is included? It's 4 Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8:30 through Zoom, where I teach these different modules. First module is let go of your fears, doubts, worries, anxieties, how you can change fear into a positive vehicle and take you to confidence. The second one is all about pain. It's all about how you can minimize pain with hypnotic techniques, breathing, all kinds of things, how we anchor positive feelings. And then the last one is number 3, is we create a place of bliss where we can go into, a place that you can use to really put yourself in, no matter whether you're in a hospital, in a birth center, at home, or in your pregnancy during the birth. It's also everything that babies learn inside the womb. It's about partnership with your baby, with your partner, whoever your birth partner is, many things like this. And in the 4th module, in week 4, we're going to create the best outcome for your birth, no matter if it's a natural birth or if you have problems and you need, for instance, extra help, all of that. And again, in each module, we're going to do self-hypnosis, relaxation quickies, breathing, and in each module, we're going to lie down and do a lot of inner work, which is great. So then what else will you get? You will get access to an online program, which is different methods that are not in the online live program. And again, that will give you, access to a program that you can watch every day. By the way, the Tuesday night sessions will be recorded. So in case you cannot come or your partner cannot come, you can always watch the recording. But the online program is again different, beautiful little exercises, and all of that together with some downloads, audios that you can listen to, and affirmations and meditations, and a few other things like the book. All of that is what's going to start on the 3rd of May. And in this program, trust me, we're going to do great things that really work, because that's what you see. Many women have taken the program in the past few years and had really a good outcome for their birth. So what is the promise that I give you? And I stop sharing my screen. The promise that I give you is that, of course, I cannot promise you the birth. I have no crystal ball. And I'm not a magician. I might look like one, but I'm not. But I can promise definitely that you will have confidence. You will have great methods, techniques that you can use on the day of the birth. And it's something that I believe is worth it. Being pregnant is a very special time in life, and you can give birth to your baby only one time, even if you are pregnant with a third one. Every pregnancy is different, every birth is different. And I believe, having the right mindset is one big key to a good birth, probably the most important one. So the offer is 447 euros. You can bring a partner, whoever it is, for free. And if your partner can't come, as I said, you can always access the recording, and it will have those 4 live sessions online live with me. It will have the online program, my book, and some downloads that you can listen to every day. And that is my offer. You find it in the chat. And then you also find the present that is for all of you. The VIP juttawohlrab.com affirmation is the present that each of you can get. That's because I really appreciate that you spent all your time this evening with me before you have dinner or after dinner. So first of all, I would like to know, does anyone have a question? If yes, feel free. And if you want, you can even unmute yourself, and I'm happy to answer. Or is there something you would like to know about hypnosis, the program, something? Feel free, you can ask me, or you put your question in the chat if you prefer to. Thank you, Kata, if you prefer to say that. So can I say? Thanks, you have a great evening. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Jutta. Hi, everyone. That's Mandy here.
Oh, Mandy, nice to hear your voice.
Hey. Thank you so much for your time and for your precious comments on everything. I just wondered on the courses, from what month or from what week on do you actually recommend the class?
Oh, it really depends a bit, Mandy. Say, I had the earliest ever someone attended was week 9. I think week 9 is maybe quite early, I'm honest, because week 9, you just have the idea. But this woman was so fearful. She said to me, really, it's my second child. This time I want to do it. And she had a good birth. Usually I would say, 17, 18, 20 weeks, something like this is a great start. But, there's also no limit up. Because even if you are 34, 35 weeks, you can still have a benefit, because in fact, most babies will be born after the due date. 10% of all babies will be born beforehand. And everything is going to be helpful, even if you listen to some of the things after the birth. Many of the techniques I teach you are great for the rest of the life. When I taught hypnobirthing in Sydney, many husbands said to me, you know what, when I drive my car now, I feel less stressed because I use those techniques. Mandy, how many weeks pregnant are you? Can I ask you?
It's 27.
Ah, well.
It's quite in the middle.
Yeah, would be perfect. Right in the middle.
Okay. You said you also will be having another one in June. Did I hear that right?
Yes, there will be one in June, but I haven't put the dates up yet. But there will definitely be one in June as well. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Think which one, but I have to say, 27 weeks, if you really ask me, I think is a good time. Why? Because then you could have time. First of all, you would feel more positive, less stressed, more relaxed. That is great for your whole pregnancy, also for your baby. Secondly, you have time to practice, because the later we start, of course, we feel a bit more time pressure, because also it's not only doing it, that's one part, but then there is daily practice. Yeah. Just like, how can we say, with yoga, with anything. And the more you put your mind into autopilot, the easier it's going to be. Yeah. But of course, as I said, June for sure. I'm not quite sure whether it's in the beginning or middle of June. Haven't set the date yet. Okay, Mandy? And anything else?
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Maybe just one more, because I'm super new in the hypnobirthing world, and so part of the course, will it also entail postures with which I will be able to get into this mindset more easily, or is it more rather of a breathing technique and
No, it's a mix.
thoughts?
No,
Okay.
it's not about postures. It's more about, you know, how can I say, inner shifts we do, like in the exercise we did. But it's also, how can I say, there's some practical stuff, how you anchor good feelings, how you can anchor. There's some massage techniques. But a lot of time we're going to lie down on the couch, close our eyes and do something. Yeah. And of course, we will learn self-hypnosis, so you can put yourself into a relaxed state of mind, breathing techniques that we connect also with certain things, relaxation quickies, things you can do to instantly get into a relaxed state of mind. And then part of it is really where we lie down on the couch and we close our eyes, and I'm going to take you through something, and that is going to be most powerful. Yes?
Okay, thank you so much, Jutta. Great, sounds good to me. Thank you.
That was great. So anyone else would like to know something or has a question in general? Bianca, you look at me. So it's not possible to have a water birth with twins. No, Alessandra, sorry. But it's possible to have a good birth with twins and to take a bath before that. But no, you can't have a water birth with twins. Yeah. Sorry to say. Not in Germany, but you can have a bath. But, you know, can I say, also for twins, yeah, because you will have special circumstances, it could still be a wonderful method to prepare yourself, because, you know, no matter where it's going, let me really say that. Say you are maybe 20 weeks, you don't know where your birth is going. Oh, look, Alessandra, here your daughter. Oh, she looks beautiful. What I saw was just the hair. Yes. But you know, Alexandra. Okay, Alessandra, the one with twins and the other one without twins. Yeah. So again, let me say that hypnobirthing is something you can really use no matter what's going on. And no matter if you have special circumstances or a normal birth, it doesn't matter, okay? Because I had a woman joining last year who, for medical reasons, knew she would have to have a C-section. She took my hypnobirthing and said to me afterwards, you know what? It really helped me to have the feeling like I had a real birth. And for me, I thought that was most fantastic, something I really wanted, yeah? And so, you know, that's something most people will not, or women not be able to achieve without any mental mindset training, because especially nowadays, I feel a lot of women and their partners and the world is getting more and more negative and negative, unfortunately. And I think the current situation, to be honest, is not helping. Now, just to say something about the training, if there is any financial problem, people can talk to me. Yeah, we can also pay in installments. No one has to create big anxieties about money, because money is not the problem. Yeah, but giving birth is really a very special time in your life. You can never do it again. It can only be done once with the baby or the babies that you carry right now. Yes. And so, you know, I really want to give you this thought, and you all should download definitely the affirmations, because really thanks for coming. This is truly the present for you. And I really hope that some of you come and join me, because I can promise not only will we change how you feel, but also we're going to have lots of fun. Oh yeah, learning has to be fun. Yeah, learning should be easy. And I love hypnosis. I love the state of mind of deep relaxation, where you create more happiness, more positivity, more health, more connection in this state of mind. Something that nowadays a lot of people really lack. Yeah, I know it. What did my mom say? I was born an optimist. I think I also learned to stay one in this world. And that is the true skill. Well, feel free. If you have another question, feel free to ask me something. And you know, the little online program, the little one, is well done with a cameraman, and I have a pregnant woman that I show some exercises with. And again, these are all great mental exercises that help overcome anxieties, stress, and fear, all the things that I really, guidance for you. They are just like things pointing in a direction, but that should really be let go of, because who wants to feel unhappy? Who wants to feel stressed? Who wants to feel anxious in life? I don't. I prefer to feel good and to move forward in my life. And the reason why I trained in hypnosis was because I could tell, wow, it is so amazing to work with your mindset. Yeah. And that's why I teach this class. That's why I created those programs. Because I feel like, that's something that helps us feel better, more positive, joyful, and peaceful. Yeah, I think Bianca's thinking about something. You can all click on the link and see what it is. Yeah, and have a look. You can read some of the testimonials. I've worked with so many people in those years. I had 1,000 people in my classes last year. It's a big bunch of people, right? 1,000. Yeah, and many of them were like you, I'm not sure, thinking, But, just to think it's going to be all right, I'm honest, I'm not a big fan of that. Because when I want to go up to Annapurna, I also train my body, my mind to get right through it. So, is there any more question? Is there something you would like to know? If you like to know something, you can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat. Other than this, no, you're not sure, but you want to stay with me. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes. Shall we have a cup of tea together then? Oh, then I share my screen one more time. Come on, I'll show you something. Then I show you something. Sorry, it's just all this stuff here. No, not this. What is that? No, that's not what we want to see. What is this? Wait, I have to stop this again. And wait, give you a little sneak preview of something else. So this is the thing, and where's the other thing? So you see, this is what you get inside the program. For years, I spent so much time with women, and let me go a little forward. And puffing and really going like this, and then screaming on top of her voice. Often in the next scene, we see the woman in a taxi, in an ambulance, being wheeled off, and then arriving in a hospital. Now, so just to show you, yes, the online program has a good picture, has a good sound, has some stories, but has some different techniques than the Tuesday night. The Tuesday night, when we go live on Zoom together, then I share a specific group of methods, techniques with you. In the online program, you see there's a part where I work with another, thank you, Vasily, see you, with a pregnant woman. So you can see how it works on somebody, and you can then do it along as if I would be with you in the room. Yeah, so what can I say? I think we are at the end. Time for dinner, time for maybe bedtime. I think not for you, but for someone next to you, right, Alexandra? Or there might be a complaint. Did she say bedtime? Yes. Well, for all of you, I hope you enjoyed this evening with me. And as I said, I hope I see you in this or that program. If there's any doubt or not sure, or you want to get in touch with me, maybe have a conversation again with me, yeah, get in touch with me. Easy. Yeah, you have my email. Yes. Yeah, and you can always, if not sure, book a consultation, a one-to-one. Yeah. And even if you're not sure about, as I said, some questions you didn't want to ask here, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry. I'm here for you, maybe not tonight, but from tomorrow, normal office hours. Well, nice talking to you. See all of you. And please open all the emails coming. There's a couple more surprises in there for you and a couple of invites. Yeah? Okay. I know the Easter Bunny came already, but you know, his late colleague is just hopping through the email secrets. Have a wonderful evening and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, Jutta.
Bye. Thanks.